Hello everyone, ready? Let's play some chess games here. Let's start with 3-minute games. You can send me challenges and let's play. I will help you improve your chess. I will explain that game in chess.com chat and we will play. It should be okay. Let's start our first game today. And now we have Scandinavian defense here. I will respond with knight f3. And let's see. This is a move, why not? Let's kick the queen from here. Okay, even a5 could be moved. A lot of players playing like that. That's a pain, but he is also trying to take, and d5 will be hang after that. So let's push that. And after this trade, c2 will be hang, so let's kick the knight from here. After take, that should be hang, but I will try to trap his knight. Okay, I forgot that rook is under attack too. Not a problem here. After this, rook e1 can be moved. Because now my position is very active and he took that e-file's pawn. And I don't know, that's very tricky position. His position is very destructive, so I will try to bring another pieces into the game. Also, I'm thinking that he's trying to long castle. I will use this pin, that's not losing for him. Just because b5 he's going forward, and that will be very risky to do that long castle, and if he tries to bring his king on king side, I will try to hang some pieces over here. Even after trade and knight a4, is it work in this position? I'm not sure, let's just bring that rook on the center. But his bishop will be very active after that, so I don't want to do some fast. Okay, let's bring it here. We can try to trade that, because he wastes a move for that trade. Okay. Let's bring bishop back, or the rook g3, because after I bring bishop to c2, that should be a little bit bad, because if rook d8, that should be a little bit hard for me to defend that d5 pawn, which I'm trying to use that. Can I sacrifice the rook? If he takes the queen, he will lose it. If he takes with a pawn, g6 is hanging. And that should be made. And also, if he not to take, I will sacrifice another rook. And that should be made. Okay, that's made. Very nice game played. Let's play Vienna Gambit here. That should be a mistake for him, and even if he takes, Okay, which is he doing? Because that's a forced. Even 1700s lost the chess games in just 5 moves. Not a problem. Just g3 will be mistake. I will blunder the rook there. Okay, that means that he's resigning there, because he could even take, but he was down a full figure there. Let's prepare for d5, even e5 can be moved. Okay, he chooses to take, which is opening my bishop for this diagonal. Okay, we don't need to take, but if I go back, that should be double pawns here. Let's check him first. Okay, now he can't castle. The knight will be hanged, so I'm trying to prevent him from castle and keep his king on the middle. My pawns will be double after that, so I think I should take, right? Let's don't hurry here, because if I take the pawn or even check on c7, that shouldn't be right for me, because this f7 pawn is hanging. I will try to go h6 and mate me in one move, but I saw that, so what's my plan here? After I take, one of the pawns will be hanged. What should I do? Okay, f7 is protected. And even rook h7, he will try to trade. I think that's the idea here. Okay, that's not a fork, let's get out of this. And this is hanging. Knight c4 and b2 will be hanged. I don't think I will mate him from here, but I will be up much pawns. Let's try to trade the knights. If he takes the knight first, that should be a mistake, because his bishop and his queen would be under attack after that. He's choosing right move here. Okay, why he need to attack like this when he castled queenside? And also I'm taking this pawn back. This e5 is hanging, yes? But that's also a fork. I will have enough time to protect that, and even that's a fork. I am winning a rook here, right? Because not exchange. Because that's with a check. And another one is hang. That's a fork too. Okay, GG. Knight f7 won't work, I will take that. An up bunch of figures. You resigned? Very well, let's play another game here. Let's take and destroy his pawn structure. So this is a little bit weak, so let's take that. Knight, I don't know. Can this be a move? Because I worry about that h7 would be hang somehow, and he's pushing this pawn forward, which I took because he can take right and another fork here. I'm worried a little about that my queen will be hang, so he will try to bring his rook on g5. Okay, so let's get the f5, because if my queen goes back, that's very well defended. His bishop can't bring here. I'm up 2 pawns and exchange. Let's kick the rook, and also this g5 is defended. And if he tries to bring the knight here, that's very well protected. He can't do it. Let's kick the bishop back. And also this h5 is a little bit weak, so I think he would bring pieces over there. So let's protect as much squares as we can. Okay, he's not threatening anything, right? Let's try to attack on his queen side. Because his king side is very good, I want to do that. He can take, right? That's not a threat. Let's not be passive in this position. We are up 5 points of material, but his pieces can be really tricky here, yes? I will take his queen, yes, after check. Okay, that should be the move to protect that. I'm trying to trade, right? I will take with this pawn, and also f5 is well protected. Rook f2, I will take the queen. So let's see how he cannot defend this. Queen g3 is a move, but that should be made somehow, yes? That's a really good threat in his position. This defended, he can't create some threats here. Sorry for this. He's still thinking. But for example, Queen G3. Yes, that should work, or shouldn't work, right? Because King E3, Rook F3. If he takes the knight, he will lose the queen anyway. He's protecting F2 square, but I have a check, and also I can take this because that's not a pin. But let's see if there's any mate or not. Knight E3. Yeah, that should be okay. I will sacrifice the rook here, and because his h6 will be hang, that rook, I would take that too. Okay, if he takes, I will take it back. And he somehow can't kick my queen from there. That's why that position would be important. If I have that queen on the middle. Okay. That was a trap. Let's play one more game. Okay, what is he playing? That's very looks like French defense. So I will try to bring this knight on f5 to also, if he tries somehow d4 and for example c3 to create this pawn chain. That squares will be protected here. Let's check. Okay, which is blocking, but now these white squares are well protected. And even he's protecting the dark squares. And I'm happy to see my bishop protecting that diagonal, so he can jump with his knight or something else, I don't know, and create some threats. Yes. Let's castle queenside because this queenside is very deceptive. b3 is a move to. Okay, I try to bring his pieces there. So if I take, his bishop should be active. I will take back with a knight. Also, he castles kingside. Let's protect it a4. I will go back. And his kingside is very open, I think. If I bring my king on kingside, he would just push that forward, yes? Okay, and queen is defending this too. Okay, after this trade, I don't know, maybe a4 should be hang. Okay, let's let him to take the knight. Maybe he can go on b5 to take the bishop here. That will also open this b file for his rook. Which he is doing. That's the only move that does not lose a queen, but that's a very tricky position, but I still keeping this pawn structure and he can't bring very much pieces over here. I think only a queen, right? These pieces are defending and I will use another pieces to attack on his squares. Let's go forward and kick his knight, but that should be fork. Okay, that was I thought that he was trying to attack on that e6 pawn. Well, he castled, and what should we do? The bishop is under attack. Let's take that. This is only normal move, right? Because now I don't have to bring the queen on that starting square. What if I take? I don't think I have to, because if you take, that should be nice diagonal for my bishop, so it can try to trade with bishop f6. And if he takes somehow, that will be very nice open file, and that should be a little bit hard for him. Rook f6. What if I sacrifice? But first, let's defend this pawn here. This d4 is under attack. And so let's go c3. Okay, he will take b2. But if I sacrifice the bishop and the rook, I think that should be winning. The only thing that I'm a little bit worried that after I will try to do that, h3 will be defended. Or even that's not a problem, you know? I don't know, let's take, because after, if he takes, that should be undefended. Okay. I missed that pin. Let's bring this pieces on the center. Bishop d3, I just will blunder the pawn, so also that's protecting from this pin, forcing him to take. My position is quite active, yes? What if I just try to trade the bishops? Okay, that's the idea too. Okay, let's go back. If d4, he can take. Okay, which he is taking. And we have queen against his knight and rook. Let's not blunder anything here. Just let's c2. He's taking it anyway. I thought he would do that. But that's why I created attack on his queen side. So b2 is hanging, and then what can I do? Bring it safety or not? Yes, but I think in the future he will try to take that f2 pawn. Now he can't, right? Let's bring these pawns forward. a4, just I will blunder this b2 pawn, that's why that's the first one. He's trying to bring his pieces and take that all right, and after that g2 will be hang. That's a knight blunder, yes. Because that 8th rank was protected, I couldn't do that. I can even defend this to g2 square. Okay, I will sacrifice. Oh, that's not a sacrifice, just trade the queen for 2 rocks. Rook b2, just I will go forward. Because if I make a new queen, he takes. If another rook would be hang after that. Okay, he's playing right move, rook e7, rook f1, yes. Okay, I can't move this right. So this is hanging. Can I try to mate him? Yes, I think that should be mate idea here. I don't wanna let him to check my kingside, so I would try to g4, g5, but he would check me somehow, and maybe he can do something about that, I'm not sure. I will check him from d6 now. I was preparing for another move, but that's still okay. That's the only move to not blunder the rook. Okay, my time is low. Queen c8 is a mate or not? Always follow with a checks, that's the rule, that will help him. Okay, he's defending, but also if he do another move, just d7. I'm not seeing mate here. I have to do that because my time was running, yes? Okay, not a problem. Let's bring this into the center because he's playing as right a little bit passive moves here. I'm not missing something. Yes, that's straight because if the knight trying to go there and hit my figures on e5, that will be protected for me. So let's see if he gonna take or not. He's go back and queen b6. Maybe f4 can be a move, just I'm trying to attack on it, create some attacking ideas here. So maybe he's trying to do that. Well, if he takes the knight, I will open this h file and king g1, c4 will be check. Okay, that's check. And mate. King h1, he will lose the queen from knight f2 check. Okay, now we have similar position here. I will go e5 and trade the knights. I can take even with a rook, and this should be move right, because if he tries to bring his knight somewhere, that should be made from h2. So let's try to take the knight. He's doing great job here. What if knight c3? Okay, now I can't. But this can be idea, right? Because after this trade, h2 will be hang. Okay, let's do that. Maybe he's trying to take with a king. Okay. Let's take this anyway, and that should be mate, right? Okay, f6 is defended. He's trying to run on e2. Just g4 could be moved there. I won't let him to get his king back, so queen g5 check was also possible there. King f4 just, that will be made. Okay, very nice game. f4 will be very risky because bishop would protect at all squares. Bishop g4 will be blunder in this position. Or not, h6. Okay, he went h6, but I will try to do that. Because after this sacrifice, that should be under attack. Now that's a pin. What if I play g4? Because I'm happy to see my pawn on d4. After this trade, my position should be okay, even if I want to blocking his bishop on g6. Let's bring the knight on f5. That's also very active here, just hitting this g7 pawn. And if he take, my pawn structure will be very good there. This f5 will be open, you know, after he takes. He's not trying to take, right? Let's bring the queen, and what if sacrifice the bishop, because this g7 will be very weak. I will try to mate him from there. Okay, let's sacrifice another bishop on c4. Okay, that should work here. If he takes the bishop, just queen h6. That would be made from h8, right? Just how that move happened. Let's go a5. If he trades, we will trade too. And d4 is threatened here. Okay, he's trading, yes. Castle, and I will make him on one move. So I tried to prevent that. Okay, yeah, so this is very hard for him to do castle here. Now he can't. But how he's gonna try that? Okay, d4 is hang, right? So p5 should be idea to block the bishop and castle. But now that's with a check, the only normal move. No, I think the only move, because that's protected. To protect it with a queen, but I will trade. And I will try to take the bishop on b2. Now I'm up a pawn. And his king is very weak, I will say. If g6, he has check. Okay, check, and my pawn will drop after that, so let's defend that pawn. And also, that would be fork because he add one more attacker on it. Let's trade and d4, right? Bring my pieces some active squares there. Okay, he could take right, which I missed. His rook can't jump over here, b7 and b8, which I will try to bring my rook on his squares on as black. So bad. Let's bring the bishop for protect. Bishop b4 is a move, right? Now I have to overprotect his e4 pawn because after this trade that would drop there. d5 is a move, yes, because that should be open check. And d5. How he can prevent that? Because a5, that just will be taken. That's what this pawn is overprotected, and that will also overprotect on that. Another e5 move. Okay, sacrifice a pawn to take it back. Very nice idea. Let's see what he will do. Because this two pawns is hanging. Okay, now let's pin this. If he takes this pawn on c3, just I will bring my bishop in this open side, and then I will trade the queen and knight. And because his figures is active on that queen side, I will try to do something there, probably mate or take the figure. Let's attack with another piece because he's sacrificing a material, right? Or not? Okay, that's not hanging. He has to protect the knight. I will have enough time to bring the knight. Yes, let's bring the knight. Knight g5, h6, yes. But what if the rook first? h6, and the difference is that I can't jump with my knight, so we have enough time. So let's do that. I don't wanna go back, or I have to, I don't know. Okay. That was open, right? We have another Scandinavian defense, like seems that all my opponents who is playing with black pieces just will do that. Let's threaten his queens, so that's overprotected. We will take with a knight if he tries to attack. I don't want to go f3 because that will blunder. I think the knight from goes here, so let's kick with, him with h3. g4 can be a move, you know? What if we take this? Okay, he can take with a queen, but what after that? g5, let's try to block his king side so he can't just push that forward. I will try to do that. b5 and try to bring another piece into the game. Okay, I can take. Let's simply bring it back. Okay, there isn't any move that I can jump with my knight. Let's overprotect this d4 pawn, and c3 can be a move to kick that. Okay, if he goes rook a8, that will be hangs, so rook b7 is a move there. Let's take with a knight. Probably he missed that I can take with a knight, because if pawn takes, I will plunder that knight from here. My bishop is hanged, so he will take with a check, yes. f4 to defend these all figures here and create some defense. Just c3. Okay, this was hanging. Let's attack on his rook. Rook b5, that will help me to jump his pawn on c4, and then maybe c5, his bishop will be back. Let's defend this pawn and maybe try to go forward. Or even I am protecting this c4 square. Okay, that was a miss or not? Let's get this e-file, so because his all pieces on queenside, I will try to make him from there. That's a pin. What is he trying to do? Okay, everything is defended. In my next move I will check. But what after that? Okay, he can go forward with a check, yes? Okay, that's been made. Very bad, just I had some advantage on queen side, so I would try to make him just some move after that. I will make him yes. All my pieces were doing great job here, but not a problem. Let's trade. I would like to bring this a6 maybe to protect this bishop from c5, and that's also can be a move here. So because his queen is active, let's try to trade, and also I will have this very good pawn chain over here. Okay, he's not trading, so now I have this nice diagonal. I will try to bishop f2, and he couldn't do something there. His king will be in the middle, and also if I try to use that as open file, I would win that, yes. Let's check, because the queen and the bishop is under attack. Okay, c3 is a move. I would expect it bishop d2, I don't know why. That's not a problem, just queen a5, if he takes the bishop his knight is hanging. We can also trade the queens, let's see what move he will choose. Even he can take the pawn first, and then this should be okay here. Let's castle and bishop d7. d7 and c5. Can we reach to do that or not? I will try to bring this bishop on a6, which will protect this f1 square. He can't castle, yes. And that also will be made on e2. Let's go back, and rook d8 just coming. Even if he can trade, but I'm not sure he can protect that position, because if he can't castle and I have this open file, that should be hard for him to bring his king on set squares here. Let's attack on his bishop. He has to go rook d1, but knight d4 is coming. Okay, he even castled. Let's bring this on e2, and if he moves the bishop, e1 will be good square, because after this trade he won't lose a front fork. Just this f2 square will be defended after that. So let's see how he can respond. Okay, that should be right one, yes. If he takes with a pawn, I would sacrifice the knight, because he can take, that should be pin over there. Now bishop back should be mistake, and even c3 will be mistake, right? Okay, a5. Take like this. There should be a equal position there, but I don't want equal position here. Just after this trade, my rook will be this square, this d3 square, and let's see what he will gonna do here. He can take, right? Okay, this is hanging. But what is he thinking? Why he is giving this pawn and he didn't trade it? Just let's check. The knight isn't hanging, right? Maybe he tried to do that. Rook d1, try to pin, should be mistake, because knight c4 check, I will take that rook. He's getting slow, which is really nice for me. Okay, he did that mistake. Even if this d file is protected by me, so I would think that he will just try some backrack checkmate, but now that can't happen, right? He's gonna lose these pawns. I'm not trying to make time out him. I will try to win this position. Okay, he played very clever this. He could make a new queen, I don't understand why he did that. Okay, let's take and take these pawns. Okay, I won this game. Just 1 second remain. And GG. Bishop b4, okay. In last times, everyone is playing like that. They are trying to trick and take this pawn. a5 is coming. Okay, g5, let's sacrifice that. d5 is also threat now, right? Let's take the knight back. Am I mating here? I think yes. Okay, very good. b4, right? He's trying to protect this pawn, but I will bring huge attack on it. And first, if he take knight g4, because this bishop is protecting this pawn, I will attack on it and I will try to take. And even if he goes back, I will take with a check. If he's not, okay, he's defending with a pawn, right? So now that's hanging. Let's don't think about the knight, because his bishop will be hang. I will take with a check maybe, but I don't think he will gonna let me do that. Okay, he let. Let's take with a rook, so after queen escapes, I will have open check. That's also very nice for him, so he defended with a queen. But now if I take the bishop, for example, my bishop would be hanged. So that should be pin, king h1, just his bishop would be lost. Why he resigned. Let's play for one more time. Okay, he didn't wanna play with me. e5, yes. That's a move that I will say very much players playing and trying to have these squares. But also my figures are doing great job. Here my pawns have so much defense on it. He's trying castle, right? Let's play c4, because this squares is defended. We can't do anything here, right? queen e2 and bishop e3, but also that's protected. Just like that, somehow they are doing that. Let's bring the bishop c5, I will castle, and if he takes, that should be okay probably, because I think that he's trying just knight d6. Also, that square were defended. That's okay. Okay, what I did. I saw that this knight is doing only forward moves. Very sad. Now he can cancel and he will be up a figure. My position is also closed. Let's play another one, yes? Let's sacrifice or not? No, if we sacrifice and use this pin, he would take f2 first. That's why we don't need to do that. Bishop g4 is coming, let's defend, and d3, yes. He has to take the knight, otherwise I will double his pawns. Can I sacrifice the knight? He has to defend. Yes? Because if he takes the bishop, he will escape his queen, and that should be made from g7. So that's not a problem. This is a move. That's still okay, yes? F4 just to bring the rook on active square. Let's start new game. Bishop c4, right? Okay, let's play Italian game here. Bishop b6 is also possible. That's a position when you are down a pawn, but your position is a little bit active on him. Now I can take f7 and... Okay, let's play queen c2, because if it goes back, that's really good for me. Rook h4 is coming, h7 will be... Oh, okay. That was looking right. Rook a8, just... Let's defend. Okay, could even take, right? bishop b2, and if he moves his queen d5, that will attack on his knight, and I will threaten mate. That's hanging. That can't be made here. Another miss. Another miss. Or not. Okay, now I have this open files, so he can't mate me on backrank. Now I'm threatening mate on h8. He has to bring the rook I don't know where, and this pawn will gonna drop, and one more check. Let's bring the bishop, because after queen e4 check, he can't block with his rook, he will lose that. And even his position is dead lost here. It's not resigning. He thinks that should be stalemate here. But that can't be happen. That's mate. Okay, nice key. No, now you can take, right? Okay, that's Catalan defense, so that's no problem to take that pawn. Now I get out of this pin. This can be a move or not. Just d6, right? Or even d5 can be a move to protect, to blockade my queen's way there. I'm gonna take his bishop or not. Bishop d3. Okay, maybe I should defend that before go forward. We castle. If you not castle, I would sacrifice the knight. Okay. What should I do here? Let's go knight a4 because Let's play b3. I will prepare for bishop b2. At that time, e5, d4, f6 can work to block his queen from my bishop, because anyway I will just take the queen, because he won't have any square for defend that. Maybe a3 won't work. Bishop a3, okay, he's getting out of this pin. What if g5? Because that's a pin, and I will take that pawn for sure, he can't take it back. There isn't any figure to defend that, right? Okay, that should be a move. d4 like can be a move. Okay, he plays it. Or even d5 is free, and I can jump with my bishop there. His time is also getting lower, but let's see, can we do something here or not? That's not easy, you know. This position is really hard. Also, we have very long time here. Okay. Tower and pressure, yes. Developing gambit here, we will try to not take the pawn, and after that my bishop will be active in that square. On c5, I mean. He's even trying to take right, so not a problem. I will take with a pawn and just push it forward like past. Queen b6 is a move, right? Because that's attacking on these weak pawns which aren't defended. Okay, very nice move to defend all that a4, because I'm trying to go a4 and that pawn will be under attack. But a4 with blunder the knight. Okay, he's opened the rook, and now I have this check. If I took with the rook, just h7 would be hang after that. So that's okay position. Let's protect that square. Queen g6 can be a move. Just check. Okay, king f8. He would take the rook. Queen e3, and what if try to bring another rook in the game? I will try to do that, even bishop g3, and after trade, I don't know. That's still idea. Let's take this pawn, why not? If he even can't do something in this position to mate or take the figure. Now we are up 3 pawns. That should be winning endgame for me if we get that endgame. Bishop h4, and I take that should be okay, yes. He's sacrificing the rook, but what's the idea? Ah, okay. That won't work because rook c1. And now he has to take the rook because that was a pin, he can take another one. e6 is protected and his queen and bishop is under attack. Queen h7. Ah, okay, that's another move here. He was threatening mate. Okay, we can't just do something about that. Let's attack on his queen and take this d4 pawn. However, we don't have to take, yes. Let's just pressure it. Force him to take. Okay, he's still not taking. He can't take it back. Let's get these really nice squares. He's trying to trade the rooks. Okay, another rook. We have to take, right? Let's bring the queen on c5. That pawn is under attack, but after trade he will get mate on back rank. Queen c2. Is this a move or not? That pawn is getting one more square from queen. Knight d1 is a move. Okay, if he takes, I will make a queen. If not, just bishop d1 to protect that. And if he takes the bishop, somehow in the future I will make a new queen there. Okay, let's check him from there. He's trying to get closer. He still can take, right? Okay, he can, but g2 is hanging, and that's why I said he can take. I thought he would notice that. Now I'm still up a pawn. Because he's queenside, he has one more pawn. Let's bring the king over here and try to defend from queening. In my turn, I will try to get these pawns here. We both can't move the knights because that will be hang. So f5, I won't do that because I can't just push another pawn there. Let's offer trade. Knight c5 is a move, and I think that queenside pawns will be lost after that. Okay, he lost that pawn, but in my opinion, that should be draw, you know? Okay, I missed the knight. I thought that I can just go closer. I will try to take the pawn. Just he needs to sacrifice the knight. Because if I take, he will make a queen. Just I will be out from that squares. Let's see, can he win this or not? Because his time is low, that maybe should be stalemate, I'm not sure. Okay, that was a draw. He couldn't mate me or get some advantage that I has only king. We can also play c4, c5 here and open this bishop on b2. Okay, that won't happen. I like this push, pawn push when they are hitting the center. f5, just trade. We can take it back, so let's go f5. The knight is still attack, and after this trade, I'm not sure what will happen there, but in this position he is losing the knight because queen was protecting that. Okay, so my knight won't be trouble if we trade the rooks, which is hitting the knight, and maybe he will try to create some attacking plans. But for defend, let's bring this bishop here. G6. Let's check the cause. If I go back f5, that will cut off from my knight, and he should take the knight, which I'm not from him. Okay, that's a check. The knight is also doing a good job here, even with this high pressure. He would lose another rook, that's why he resigned. Okay, very well played. We can also take, because now he has isolated pawn. I think I will take it, because there isn't no much pieces that can protect this a3 pawn, and that happens how I said. Let's take with the knight, because now his rook is hanging, and if he goes, for example, a1 or I don't know, somewhere like this, I will try this open checks. King h1 is a move, because knight c2 I will take the queen with a check, and that should be GG. Okay, he's losing a pawn here, yes. Okay, let's create some attacking threats here, even because I'm up at 2 pawns. I can even trade the pieces and get this winning gate game here. Okay, if I check, will it give something from me or not? I think not yet. But can I just threaten this bishop, because if he takes the pawn, rook b8 can be a move and this b2 will be hang. So I would like to bring my rook on 7th rank, and now this is happening. Rook e6, right, to also protect the rook. Rook c8 would be mistake, because after this trade I can't get that back. But now let's get this trade. If I take, that should be mate if I take the pawn, so that's still okay. Or not. Okay, let's take this one. So this pawn is under attack. I will try to use it in this endgame. Okay, I thought that rook on b8. Very bad. What I'm smoking. Let's go this knight on e7, because f6 he will just kick and his position should be okay. Okay, this is a move. He is trying to get this bishop on g2. He's also wants some trades here. Let's not trade yet. Because our queen is active, I will try to bring some pieces over here, and I will take with some activation. But if he takes the knight, that will be double, and I would lose my queen, because I has to take the knight first, because that's will be with a check. So really good ways to trade, because my pawn is double now, but he lost his really good bishop, which is protecting all that squares. And now we are going endgame, where we have double bishops activity. Hello, I'm back because I have regained my joy of playing chess. Okay, very good. Do you wanna play? Okay, that's happening even with me. I hadn't played for years chess, and 2 years that I am intensive playing chess games. But 4 years I didn't play it. Okay. Let's see, can I get something from here? And before that, send me challenge. Before I will finish this, okay? Let's take this pawn. I'm down a figure, but my position is still okay because I'm up 2 pawns and my rook is very active. No, you haven't. You can play bullet or rapid if you want, not problem. Let's get this on d3, because after this trade I will have that really good pawn. Also, that should be undoubled. Okay, I'm not sure he can take this pawn because that should be pin, and he can't go near to protect that pawn. That's why he's not taking. Take check. Okay, let's resign this game. Okay, send me challenge, bro. Lemon golden, yes. I think you want rapid game. Okay, I sent you challenge. Accept and let's play. Let's start it with Sicilian defense here. So I will try French variation. Let's see if it gonna work against this c4. So we can try it. They're also playing check, right? Or even e2 won't be mistake. I'm not worried that my pawns are doubled, because that's protecting that's really nice d5 pawn, and in the future if he plays d4, okay, see, Now my pawns won't be untoubled there. But if I take, he will take with a knight, and my pawn on c6 will be under attack. So let's not to take that. Let's go e7, because if we bring this on d6, after this check, we have to bring it back, because if check bishop e6, knight can jump on g5, and we can't castle. We will lose a pawn. If after this queen defend on d7, just he will bring another queen on the game, and I can't just defend that e6. So that's still okay. Maybe he's trying to take the knight on f6 and take this pawn on c4. Yes. After that, I think I will be down a pawn, but if I take the knight, he will have 3 pawns in the c file, and my pawn structure will be very good than him. Also, he will be up a pawn, but that won't help him for sure. If he not to take, I will try to pressure that pawn and also b2. Let's see how he will gonna play. Okay, maybe that's why he's not taking. Queen b6, knight a4 can be moved. Let's see if he can see that or not. Knight d4, just my pawn will be under attack, and the queen, I have to run this queen, and c4 would be hang after that. Okay, that's the idea. That's very interesting. He will gonna see or not. Okay, he isn't doing that. That's why this pawn is hanging. So if he takes, he will blunder that. Let's go a5 or not. If b4, a3, and I will just lose this pawn anyway. Okay, not lose, because I took that, and that's a position that you can take that. I'm not sure that will be a mistake, because if my bishop were in g6, just c5, and that should be pin, I will win exchange there. I will try to trick him, just how I said. You may think that knight takes c6, just attacking my queen, and I don't have enough time to take this rook on a1. Just if knight c6, I will go back the queen. And this will be knight under attack, and the rook is under attack. Okay, he's talking, but okay, there is one way. Knight back to d4, because that will protect this. But knight d4, can I take this c2? Because if queen takes, that should be 2 figures against the rook, which will be bad for me, so I will try to simply, after knight d4, to take the knight, and then c2 pawn, right? That should work here. I will say knight d4 is the only move. Now I can take, right? Okay, this check can happen, but what we will play? Just king h8 and that should be okay. If I take c2, rook c1 and bishop back. Okay, but let's try to trick him one more time, because this rook is free on the d file, but that's not idea. I could even take this pawn on c2, but I will try to go bishop a4. That will be attack on his queen, and that's not the knight. The good move is for him, I think, knight back, b4 and d4, I don't know. Okay, I will be up. Knight here. We sacrificed. Okay, no problem now, that's winning for me. Let's play one more game with him. 10 minutes is just okay to think hard. Let's go bishop c4. Okay, that was a brilliant move. Knight f3 castle, right? Knight f3 or even d4 can happen. Pawn to d4. What if c3? And even I can do like him. Knight sacrifice on e5 and then d4. How he did in some moves later. d4? No, that's not work. Let's get out of this pin. If he takes, I won't take with a bishop or a pawn. This h7 will be hang. And after this take, I will take with a pawn, yes. Also, I will try to bring this pawn on d3, because queen can jump on this g5. So let's protect that square. Maybe I have to bring my bishop back, and then even g6 is a move, you know. g6, and I can take it back. g6, d4 takes. I will bring my bishop on h6 to attack on his rook. Okay, that's the only move. I will sacrifice the pawn here, because the activity is more important in a position like that. Even if d3, that can protect the bishop on h7. Okay, that's double attack on his bishop and the queen. Okay, he missed that. Let's play French defense here. Just one mistake and he drops his whole game away. But he played very nice actually. Let's try to bring this knight on f5 even. Bishop d3 and take. That should be okay, just we need to be sure this d5 is defended. And after this trade, I would like to bring another pawn in the game, kick the knight, and if he tries to castle short, I will create huge attack on it, and maybe I can even castle queenside. Let's see if he takes. Just I will push this all pawns forward, and now his position is a little bit deceptive. That should be good position for me. G5 is a move here, right? Okay, let's do that. If he tries to take this pawn on d5 somehow, just bishop e6, but he is not trying to do that. I think I have to go bishop e6 anyway, because my king side isn't that protectively. Let's just bring that figures there, and anytime we can castle, right? But let's see what will happen here. G4 or H5 and then G4. I don't know. Okay, let's take. I'm not sure why he give it to me when I could take with a pawn on a6, but that should be very weak, I will say, because that bishop will protect that and maybe the queen, and that's all. King h1 in a very position that I have to protect that bishop, but now that's uninteresting to sacrifice that pawn on a6, which he did. Okay, not a problem. I will castle long and bring rook on g8, or maybe I can try to be a little bit fast, like g4 here, or even I think f4 and g4 can be really good idea there. The difference is f4 like you can take, right? But g4 and knight, for example, e5 like he played, this f4 square will be protectively with his bishop. So that's not a problem. Even I'm happy to see he traded that knight, because that was protecting his h2 square very well. So I will try to use that weaknesses in this position. And now he's creating attack on e5, so he will try to bring the queen, I am sure, for this. So let's long castle first. Also bring my least active piece in the game, why not? And then I will attack on his position. Because bishop d6, now I have this nice diagonal, and also I'm forcing him backward move. And let's be sure that we are protecting this b-file square every time in this game, because just here he will force a move to go back or trade the bishop, which I won't be happy to trade. Okay, I think he fell for this trap. But after rook g8, let's not miss that. My rook will be trapped, so because this g-file is open for me, I will bring another rook in the game. I think you understand why not rook g8. My rook will be trapped there, But now even in this position he's not up a pawn. I will just try to push it forward to open this white bishop too. And that should be a good position for me, why not? Okay, bishop f6 is a inaccuracy, I will say, because your figures are on this first rank, you have to activate that. And because he isn't doing, now I have really great attack on his king side, yes? And now my position is so active that I can even sacrifice a material. Let's see just how we can go forward. Even bishop h3, because he has also this white square's weakness here. Bishop f5 is a move because the queen d3, and the idea to protect this g3 after take, I can sacrifice material. Or even I can, because that should be pin the queen and the king. But I'm not sure, because if I sacrifice the rook, no one guards on g8. But I will try to use that as weakness. Let's think what we will play after he will take. If bishop h3 and bring the queen, or even I can push another pawn in this position, yes? Okay, that's really unnecessary, because I'm taking with a check, and I'm not sure if I take this f2 pawn, that will be with a check. That's also will be with a check, but difference is that now bishop h3, yes, bishop h3 I would have rook g2 check, but before that he will go rook g1. So I'm not sure I have to do that. His king is just exploding this position. So I would like to play rook g6 to attack on his bishop. And now I am winning a tempo here, because I am forcing his move. That's really great, because now I'm winning a tempo here. Like rook g4 and try to bring another rook that should be a little bit better than this, because he would have enough time to get rook g1 or something. I don't know, like 92 brings some advantage on it. Can I take the pawn or rook g8? I'm not sure about that. Rook g8, rook g1 can be a really great move, because after this check I'm trying to see his king on white squares, so I can jump with my bishop with a check. And that's what I said about tempo. Let's see how we can at least continue. Okay, he did it right. But this pawn is actually hanging. Am I need to trade? I think it's not, because I will activate this rook on a1, which isn't doing anything. But that can be tried, because if he takes the rook, that should be a mistake. You know why? If I take with a rook, queen h8 check, and how can I defend my king? Queen d8 won't work, because bishop is protecting that square. Let's take with a pawn, because even my bishop is protecting the rook, so he can't take. That's just, pawn is hero of the day, that's opening the bishop, and that's defended. So now I have another open file here, which I would like to use. Just the bad thing is that I can't just move that, Move that rook for backrect checkmate. Can I sacrifice the bishop here? Okay, f2 is defended. Let's go back right. Okay, what? The queen was hanging. Okay. I and he didn't saw that. We missed that so badly. Because of maybe time pressure, because now he has only 2 minutes. And now I'm threatening mate in 2. Okay, very nice game. Let's open with d4. d4 and c3, right? Let's see if he can attack or not. That's all about a 4 active position, which calls Danish Gambit. He's not taking, but if he takes it back, which I think he will do that. Okay, I will try to go d5 and then d6, because that pawn on d7 can't move there, and also his bishop can't go forward, right? The only way that he can activate the bishops is like that. I'm sure he will try to attack on that pawn to take that, but I will just protect that how much I can. Even if I can be moved, that will be a really nice pressuring move in this position for him. So let's try to do that. Like, I think there is very huge threat e5. Knight g6, that will be great move, because there's knight c6 also. Okay, he blunders the knight. Okay, that was the agreement. He just blundered his knight. I didn't want to take that. Let's send him rematch. And can we play Scandinavian defense? Knight c6, d5. Not sure. Yes, because this bishop on d2, d5, I will jump my knight on knight b4, yes. This c2 will be under attack. And if he tries to defend with a rook, a2 will be under attack, and even bishop d3 won't work after that. d4 is hanging too. He can maybe try to jump with his knight and open attack, but this c2 is actually hanging. There can be a trap here, if for example knight d2 and he will attack on my queen. If I take with the knight on c2, okay, which he probably missed. He could sacrifice the queen, and if I take, my queen would be under attack, how I said. That should be the idea, because I needed to think about that before moving. there isn't any threat, right? Because that square is defended from the queen. Bishop b5, like c6 will be only move, but that's enough to protect my king. The only thing that now I can castle, but after he will take with a queen, just that castle can be. Okay, I don't wanna trade pieces. Just if I have mate, I won't do that. Because now I'm up 2 points and exchange. I can even do that, but I'm not sure can I mate here or not. f7 is hang, but he will lose that control of d3 square. Let's jump with my bishop. And d5, right? Well, he goes back. I try to take, that won't help me. So let's not do that. Okay, another check. He has no threat, right? Queen a4 and bishop takes on e2. Because after knight takes, I will be mate from d1. But if queen a4 b3, a2 will be hang. So that won't be queen kick there. Okay, now he has to take with a king. I will bring my bishop out. Let's take because he's trying to go king g2. And d5. e5, he has to move the knight. Bishop b4, bishop b4, a3, and bishop a5, right? Because my bishop will be great on this diagonal. And he's trying to mate, but I'm taking with a check. So maybe you can think that after king e2 he will try to mate, and that will be attack on his rook, and I have to sacrifice the rook for defend that mate. But after king e2 I have queen a4, one more check, and even after that he will lose the rook. After that the queen, yes, it was like that. And now that's a little bit different because I'm gonna take the bishop or not. Not yet, because that will be made. Okay, let's take the rook, king h3 will be better because that would be defended. It's time to resign. Just g6 or not even. Okay, let's play a rematch. Let's play English Gambit here. Let's see how he can play this. Just d3 and d4 I can play. like Sicilian defense with white pieces. Or even g3 bishop g2 can be a move. I think even that should be right. I would have this really good and I'm trying to take some squares and create pawn chain to not let him. This bishop will be very active after that. But now that's what white squares well defended for me. And now that should be a mistake because I was attacked on one piece, but that's open attack, so I'm attacking with 3 pieces here. And that's not necessary to sacrifice the material here. I don't know what he's thinking that because that was defended with 2 pieces, also I could take with a queen, but let's get this pawn structure. Okay, this is hanging, right? Let's get it back and also take. Let's take with a bishop because the knight is defending that. Also, if knight a4, I would just blunder that. Now if he takes the knight, that's also will be defended. So queen h5, and maybe after that I can sacrifice the bishop on h6, because that queen h7 will be unstoppable in position like this. Very good move f5. Let's get this, he's trying maybe to take the knight and then the pawn, but after bishop b3 that won't work. Like, see, is he gonna trying to play that or not? f5 is a really good move because that's blocking my bishop, and now that's not open. This h7 g6 was very weak, so he's bringing defense on it. Queen h5 won't work, like I will do it before that. Okay, he's opening this one more time, and if he takes, I won't care. That should be a mistake, you know? If he takes on g3, check, king f7, I will take with the f, and this will be open check, and I will bring another piece with his help on the game, and that should be winning, right? Let's see what he will do here. Okay, queen d5 will be mistake, so I'm not thinking he took for that. Very good move, I have to go back. And that's even could be good for him if he wasn't down a piece. You can take and trade the pawns, right? Okay, that's also a move. So after this trade, the rooks won't see each other. And also my queen isn't on d3 square, so try to hit on this diagonal and bring on h7 there. He's trying to make right, but how I said, that's a pin. Before really good actually, but if not bishop b3, bishop e4 just also can work there, you know? He just couldn't go forward. Let's trade. Okay, let's take with h2 pawn because I don't wanna activate his rook on this diagonal, but that's still okay. Not a clear queen. That's not traded with a pawn or even figure, I don't know. I will bring the rook on 7th rank and I will mate him. Okay, queen g7 mate is unstoppable here. I can't even do pre-move. Okay, let's accept his rematch. I will play modern defense, like a little bit like Indian Gambit here. Knight bt7 and e5 is a move, or even c5 will work, you know. I'm not sure. Maybe e5 because now I will protect for f5. Let's take with a pawn and f5 can be moved. I can even try to kick his bishop and short castle, not long. Knight f6. My white square bishop is closed, so maybe b6 and this can be a move. Or even I can open the knight b6 for example, or c5. Also that should be attack on this pawn on e4. And bring my bishop on g4, maybe even trade. Don't know. We don't have to take with a knight because after queen trade my king will be in the middle. I will castle my next move. And then I can activate the knight on c5. Okay, even now I can bring this on c5. That will be just trade. And the bonus is that I'm creating attack. I maybe don't take that because knight c3 can happen anytime. But the chess is about then you are creating attacks, you know? Let's take with a rook to not let him use this d file because he would be very active there. That's pawn trade. My bishops are doing great job, but I need to bring the rook. So, okay, knight c3 is a mistake. Let's double his pawns. So let's bring this bishop out. And the rook now is open. I will bring it e8 maybe. But after king f1 that or not. No, rook a8, knight back, right? That will defend this. Okay, I'm not sure that can be good for him because the knight is hanging. You will say that's protected, but after I will take the knight, bishop will be under attack. This bishop back, just I have enough time to take this pawn on c2, or even not. Let's try to trap here. Rook d8, the only move that's not losing. Bishop f3. You know why? Because if I take the knight, take it back, your rook d1 can be moved. And it will be made. Okay, c4 is a temporary defense because he has to go back on f3. Okay, that should be lost. Let's take the bishop that he can take, right? Well, that's mate. What if knight c3 here? Let's start with bring the knights. If I take d4 can happen, which can be good for me because he will pick my knight and there isn't any good squares where I can jump. Let's defend with a bishop because after this trade my pawn structure would be very weak there. This is a move that will be double pawns, but that will be overprotected. So I don't think I would lose that somehow. That should be a good idea. Bishop e2 to protect these kingside squares. because even no move that can bring some activity than this. G3, G2 won't work also, because that's closed. Okay, bishop b2 and castle, right? I will try even to block his pawn structure, which is doing a really great job in center. And also, I can't jump with my bishop anywhere, because that's white square overprotected by him. So I will try to trade, and if he's not, that will be weak pawns, and also f6 is mistake. Because now he has to take with the g pawn, because if he takes with the rook, that will be down exchange here. He understands that now, probably. But that should be good move if not my bishop attack on it. So we have enough time to take this pawn, because he's trying to make a fork from e3. Okay, he probably didn't saw that, maybe, I'm not sure. Just he prefers to take on g7, which is, I would say, the best move. Okay, and he's rook down. Let's take this. That's open defender for my bishop. Okay, I can even take this and take the bishop. That was the idea here. And now, because I'm up a rook, I will win this in the end game. I think we finished that middle game. Okay, if you want to play, send me challenge. Okay, let's play one more game with him. Open with Sicilian defense, French variation. And kick his bishop right. Let's see if he can attack or not. If he takes and check, just knight c6, and that should be okay. Okay, he's gonna take that right. If he's not, I could even force with a6, bishop d7, or even queen c7, queen b6 could be moved there, because that's also protecting that c6 knight, where I can't just bring out because of pin. But what I love bishop d7, because that's unpinned the knight. Let's just bring pieces out and castle, right? Well, let's trade, and we will take with a pawn to kick his bishop, and we would have enough time. Maybe I need to take the knight, because if he takes with a queen, I will pin this. If he goes his bishop back, b2 is hanging. Let's see how he can play this. This can be moved. Okay, he played, but that should be a mistake. That's a pin. I don't even need to take the rook, because the rook is undefended here. He can't defend. And also rook a8. I don't need to hurry and take the rook first, because that's a check. And after this move, I will take this for sure. The bishop was hanging too, and we can also trade, right? He resigned, let's play a rematch. E4 this time, right? Let's try to play Italian gambit. Okay, that's not Italian gambit because knight f6. That's a little bit hard opening if you are low rated. This, I don't think this should be right to play, because it's already a mistake when you just went there. I will say inaccuracy, not mistake, right? Because he's down a pawn, he could actually go d6, not knight c6, and that probably would be better one. And that's mistake, because now his two pieces are under attack. The bishop and the knight, right? You need to be careful about that. He's gonna lose a piece. He can't defend two of them in just one move. Okay, he giving me this bishop because now my pawn structure is very bad here. And so he has really active position. I'm a little bit worried about. I will play complex game here. Not in this position, but if it's not, I would play d4. Okay, he blunders the knight. But he also could make some really good attack on it, even rook e8, and my pawn would be under attack. Yes, after that. Let's play normal chess, like if I... Okay, Scotch game. I don't know this gambit. How need I play? I'm just playing moves that I think that should be working that position. Even knight f6, but e5 could be moved and I have to go back. Well, knight a4 can be a move. I'm not sure. Okay, that's fried river attack. That's very like in that opening. Oh, okay, I did mistake. I had to go knight a5. That's very bad. Now if he takes this, let's see if he can see this move or not. I tricked right. Let's check king f1 or even king d1, why not? That will be middle, but he could bring the rook on e1 and also try pin here. I won't move my knight because that f7 will be undefended. I'm not counting the queen, which I won't sacrifice for his take his knight and bishop. And now he's taking material from me. I would like to castle, you know? Let's kick the knight out. Knight f3 right. I would like castle. But even besides that, rook d8 maybe can still work here. Or even I will try knight b4. That will be double attack. But if just queen back, that should be all, I think. Knight e4 won't going so much backward move. So I don't understand this move. Okay, but if you're sacrificing the material or even doing a move, think about that. Why I'm doing about what I'm doing that move, what that move will give me. Okay, you did it right, because if I take, rook a1 will be threat. That's why I have to bring rook d8, or even rook a1 can work here, probably, I'm not sure, or not. No, I lied. Because rook a1, I will sacrifice the queen on a1, and then I will take this queen. I will be up exchange, because he in this position up a figure. Or not, he sacrificed that, yes? Okay, I forgot he sacrificed. If I take, that should be same thing. And even b7 is hanging. So let's go rook d6, and after rook e1, rook e6 can be a move, but b7 is hanging. Or even we can trade and take b7, because he don't think that his bishop is under attack. The knight will be hang after that. So let's see what he will do in this position. If he not take, I will take, that should be mate, so that's even forcing move to take. Oh, see, he blundered, but he played very well game. I didn't expect it that he will play like that far, because he was down a piece in that game. Let's play simple. I would play queen a1 probably. Try to do something in that position. But my knight will be undefended. And what if check and bring bishop out? I think that should work in this position. Okay, that's another fork. This time I will take the knight, yes? Okay, always follow for checks, because that checks can be really bad for you. I thought that queen a4 just c6. I will defend that, and that should be alright. This position is open. So let's be sure that all figures are protected, and he can't check and take some material from there, which typical queen and figures endgame. And he resigned because he was down bunch of figures there. Okay, let's open with f4. That's called bird's opening. Let's see if it can work or not. I would like f4 and a4, because that's opening a really good rook when you are short castle, and that's also creating fast attack over here. e4, knight f3, and even if I went d3, maybe I can even activate my bishop like g2, but my king side will be overextended, and that should be a little bit risky to bring my king on king side. So let's don't think about that. I can long castle here, because my position is really active in that king side. So I would like to attack on his king side. Okay, that's still very good here. d4, yes. I'm kicking the figure, don't let me do that. We can take, right? It goes back. E4 won't work, but bishop g2 and I will castle. Let's defend the knight. That's defended, but that will be double pawns. That shouldn't be any mistake, but if I want to long castle, that should be a little bit hard me for defend. Now I can castle, right? Let's see how he can respond this. Okay, he get out of this pin, he can move his knight now, but if I were black, I wouldn't go that anywhere because that's very well located. Okay, he's bringing very much attack on my position, on my king side, and which hits also queen side. But anyway, I will play g4 and try to create some attacks. How I said that my king side is very active there, so if he castle king side, I will try to kick all this. Let's see if it gonna work or not. Just g4, g5, because g4 bishop take h4 will plunder my pawn there. If I go a3 and he sacrifice, okay, he will gonna do that. See, he's gonna sacrifice the knight. I will take and knight f2, right? Okay, that would be very good move. That will win the rook, but also you had to give me your two figures, but my position would be very bad after that. Queen a3 would be really good for it. Now I have knight and bishop against his rook and pawn, because in this position he is up a pawn. I'm not sure I'm really good here, but I will try to bring my rook on b1. Because if I take, my bishop will be hanging. But not a problem, rook c1, and his c7 will be hang. But his vision is very good. Okay, let's take this pawn. Another pawn is hanging, so let's take that too. And now that's pinned, because if I move my knight, I will lose that. Maybe knight a1 and h4 is a move. Force him to trade. Even h4 and bring my bishop out, right? Because the knight is defended. Let's see if it can work or not. Just I will have this very good attack on it. He was preparing for or rook b2 or even rook b1 can be a move. Okay, really good. Now finally I can activate the knight, but he's trying to rook c2 and take the pawn, so let's go defend this. Now this c2 is protected. Rook b1 is a move, right? Because c3, now that's protected. Okay, check. And d5 will be hang after he will protect. After he will take this a3, maybe the right move can be pawn take. Even bishop back to c5 to defend. I also can defend, right? Okay, this pawn is hanging. King d3, he will check, and that should be hanging too. So if he takes the pawn, bishop d2 will protect that sort figures. And now he's not taking a pawn. Okay, I mean he's taking, but d5 and a5 is also hanging. He can't defend all of them. If he can't defend, he needs to attack, but how he can attack? Okay, let's take with a check first. Because that all squares were defended, that attack won't be so easy. And then I will try check. Let's protect the bishop, because that could be maybe some threats. I'm threatening to fork his bishop. Okay, that's check, but no, that's that's a threat anyway. That's a little bit hard to win this, or even that's not winning for me. I'm not sure because if he tries to attack on my king side, okay, he was in trouble now. He could not to check, also attack my king side and try to take some pawns, but that should be not good. Okay, and by agreement. Okay, let's end this stream. Goodbye.